Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, I am live and I am in the right places. Oh, you know what? I don't. You guys tell me how my sound is, okay? Because I don't have my mic plugged in. Give me 1 second. Let me plug in my mic. Let's get that done. Okay. Hey, Karen, how are you this morning? I am alive. I'm gonna tell you guys what this time change. This is not gonna work. 9 a.m. for me is too early. So I will be changing this to 10 now that the time change is here to 10 a.m. Pacific time because that 1 hour just makes a huge difference. I'm still asleep. So we're going to see what happens today. Um, are you not hearing me? Let me. Oh, wait, I don't want to mess with that. Oh, it was yours. Okay. Carol, girl. Oh, good morning, Elizabeth. How are you guys doing this morning? Thank you guys. Good morning, Nancy. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Can you guys hear me okay? I changed mic, so I want to make sure that my sound is okay. Okay. So this morning for our mixed media mashup, I was going to like work on projects and then I realized I literally only have one project. So I'm going to leave her up there and we're going to go ahead and play the game this morning. I have pulled out way too much stuff. I probably made things more complicated for myself, but we'll see what happens. Um, I always pull out things in hopes that I will have what I need, you know, when I pull something from when I pull a popsicle stick from the thing. If you are new here, my name is Royce Hunt Bell. I am the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled Treasures. And we meet here on Monday mornings for Mixed Media Mondays. And it will be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now that the time change has occurred because Royce does not function well. I'm speaking about myself in third person, yes. Early in the morning. I am so tired. So, um, yes. So 10 a.m. Pacific time every Monday, Mixed Media Monday, we play a game. It's called Mixed Media Mashup. And I have a can full of popsicle sticks, and each one has both like I don't know, a product or a process and then a challenge. So the top might say texture and then the challenge is visual under paper. So each one is different. And I pull out, 4 right now. I should pull out 5. Should I do 5? Ugh. 4 or 5. And then I have to incorporate all those things into my project. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to do when I come on Monday mornings. And so I've pulled out some things, some stencils, don't know if I'm going to use them, some stamps, don't know if I'm going to use them. I pulled out all kinds of stuff, but let me clean up because I was kind of pulling stuff out a little willy nilly this morning. So let me put you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys can hear me clearly. Good morning, Madonna. How are you? Oh, good morning, Kay. I am feeling so much better. Thank you. Oh my God, guys. I is rough. I'm going to say that. What's that noise? Move that one. And I actually think that's my desk camera. That is so funny. The camera in the house on my desk is showing. That is crazy town. Oh, come on. My overhead isn't showing. Oh, there it is. I almost panicked. I was ready to panic, you guys. Okay. Look at, I've pulled out everything and the kitchen sink this morning, but let me put my little stack away and we can pull out our six and see what we're actually going to use. I do want to talk about what papers I pulled out. Let's see. These are just a stack of stencils that I pulled out. I got started and you know how it is. Ooh, this one and this one and that one. I pulled out some stamps here, a couple ILD stamps. This Tim Holt stamp, I like had it in my inbox forever and I wanted it so bad and I finally bought it. And look, I haven't even opened it, you guys. But this is the Curator is the name of it. And there's like a bunch of like lab labels. Love it. So I'm gonna put my stamps to the side because I don't even know if I'm gonna pull stamps, right? And then I did pull out some transfers as well. Not sure what I'm gonna use, but I'll set those aside. And then I did pull out this mold. Um, but we don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, look, I have more stencils. Good night. So, and more stencils. I was going to do just something in my art journal this morning because I hadn't really put a lot of thought into a specific surface. But when I was looking through my stuff, all my stuff, I have way too much. I feel like I'm so far away. Let me put this down just a little bit, although it's kind of good for the vertical. Let's get a little bit closer. Get a little closer. Okay. I have these two. ¿Cómo se dice? See, my brain, y'all. Wood tags. Here. Good morning, Flea. Oh, I'm sorry, Flea. Give her hugs. I mean, I know you're gonna give her hugs, but you can give her one for me. She doesn't have to know it's from me. Um, so this is what I pulled out for our surface today. Are these two wood tags? I know one of you guys are gonna ask me where did I get these, and I got these at Daric. There used to be a site, Daric, and it was a wonderful site. Michael's bought them out and then they closed it. So I don't know where you would find these now, but you can probably find a version, right? On Amazon. I was gonna measure them for you. What do you guys think? They're probably like 6 inches tall, maybe 6x4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6x4, maybe 7x5. They're kind of big though, and they're kind of thick. I'm sad because I'm down to like my last 10 of these. And I pulled out a bunch of molds just because when I make tags, I kind of like to have como se dice, Lord have mercy for Jesus. Y'all pray for me. I like to have little things to dangle on here. And I can't think of the name of those right now because my brain is just not operating at full capacity. I haven't even had coffee yet this morning. So we have this. I did pull out a couple of papers. This is the Roycycled in paper, decoupage paper. And so I've already used a couple pieces, but this is what I have left over. I love this paper so much, you guys. And if you're working on a project like this, like tags, it is so perfect. And the thing about this paper is that even though each one of these patterns are different, they all speak to each other. So, like the tone of this one is picked up here in this one, and these two are also picked up in this one, and the undertones of this one is picked up in this one. So, it's not just like a willy-nilly group of end papers. They still speak to each other and they work together really well. So if you were to make like your own master board or a series of tags using this paper, your tags will still coordinate beautifully together. So I'll be using the recycled end papers. And then when I was going through the papers, I was thinking, ooh, the and now I forgot the name of this one. This paper would be really good for tags, right? I mean, your tag is almost done for you. You could just pluck out, what is this? A scrappy master board. You could just like almost pluck this out and put it on a tag, and your tag is like done. So this is, I don't even have a whole piece of this one because I love it so much. I think I have a picture though. Let me grab a picture. Hey, Lori. Girl, I do not know how I'm live without coffee. I am hurting right now. But the kids are on spring break, but luckily my son came and got the grandbaby this morning. But you guys know how it is. My schedule is a little off though. So I just didn't get time to make coffee. So this is the Scrappy Masterboard. It is literally one of my favorites. I love this paper so much. And I know I shouldn't say that about my own designs, but the amount of joy that I had creating this paper, I think you can, I don't know. I feel like you can feel it because this was so much fun. I had to make myself stop with that paper. And so that's the paper. And then the end paper, do I have a picture of that one? No, that's warm typography. Oh, here it is. This is a full sheet of the end paper, decoupage paper. So you guys can see when you look at it as a whole, that even though you have different patterns, that the patterns still speak to each other, right? And everything tonally is the same. So it'll coordinate beautifully together when you're using it on projects. So when I create these, last night somebody asked about how do you know what colors to put together? Um, I'm gonna do a shameless plug for the recycled master boards. It's not just a lot of random stuff like thrown on a master board. It's already color coordinated for you. And you can pick colors out of that paper to use on the rest of your project, you know, and you know they're gonna go together. This one is, oh, I pulled out the junk journal master board as well. And so I don't know if I'm going to use this one. And this is an older one. So Roycycled, our papers used to be 20-inch by 30-inch. And then after COVID, with all of the issues with being able to get like products and stuff, my manufacturer had to change their provider, or not provider, but their paper people. And so we went to 21-inch by 29-inch. And so we changed it. And so the new one actually has a ruler on it, which I'm sad because that's kind of why I grabbed this because I wanted to use the ruler. And then I also pulled out the dress form project blocks as well. The project block papers I really love because again, everything is color coordinated for you. Everything goes together tonally, even though they're completely different. So you can just mix and max confidently and know that it's going to look good together. So we don't know what we're going to do though. And I have my warm typography, which is also one of the new papers and one of my new favorites. So you guys can kind of see the vibe, right? That I am like feeling this morning. So I'm going to set those aside. But before I even decide what I'm going to do, hey, Chris, somebody make a cup of coffee. Upset. Oh my gosh, I wish. If my husband was not at work right now, he would probably be so sweet and bring me coffee. I know. If somebody's here in Safford and you're watching and you love me, you can come and bring me a cup of coffee from the Good Bean or from, oh, what's the new one? There's a new coffee shop in town. He is so passionate about coffee, and I swear I can taste his love for coffee in every cup that I have there. It is so good. But I digress. Okay, you guys, I'm mixing it up because we've played for a few times now, and I don't want to end up with like the same ones. Not that I've had that happen. So you guys can see my face. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to try to pull from different parts of the can. If I pull out the same thing twice, I'll replace it, just so you guys know. Because we have like so many different categories, there's really no reason to work in the same category. Okay. So I'm going to pull out 4 because I don't have coffee. I don't think I could do 5 today. So we have collage, stencils, transfers, and texture are the 4 categories that I have pulled out. If you guys want this game, let me think. I really need to set up an automation for this game. Let me know. Let me know, and I'll get you the game. If you're a Roycycled Insider, you guys already have this. I think I've emailed twice at this point. But you may not have known that it was going to be in the email. Maybe you didn't open it. But let me know if you want the game, and we'll get you the game. And it comes in it's somewhere in between all of my stuff. It comes on a sheet, and you have to cut them out. And so there are like 4 or 5 in each category. And so you put the category at the top, and then the challenge goes at the bottom. And I just used a Woohoo glue stick to glue the papers onto my sticks. So transparent paper. That's my challenge. So for collage, my challenge is to use transparent paper. I do have some collage paper over here that we made during my besties membership call. So that's good. I have that. Stencils. It says pair a stencil with decoupage paper. That's going to be a little bit harder with the because these are small, but I do have a smaller scaled cloche, so maybe we can do something with that. Transfers, use contradicting transfer images. And so what this means, you guys, is to use transfers that don't immediately look like they go together, right? So maybe I'll use a floral with typography, which they do technically go together, but they're not the same. You know what I mean? So that's probably what I'm going to do is floral and a typography, but we'll see. And then I have to do physical texture under my paper. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have to do physical texture under the paper. So that should be good. And I didn't even do like, it'd been nice if it had been like a raised stencil and then physical texture under the paper, because I could have just did both into one. But I think that's what I'll do is I'll do a raised stencil. I have, oh yeah, that'll be perfect. Okay. So we'll do a raised stencil underneath on both of these, and I'll figure out what that's going to look like in a few minutes. And that'll take care of my physical texture. And so under texture, there is visual texture, which just means that it's something that looks like texture, but you can't feel it. And then physical texture, it means that it's actually texture that you could feel. So you'll need to use a product to create that. And so physical texture, I could stipple this with some salt wash. That would be physical texture. A raised stencil, which is what we're going to do, is physical texture. So that's what that means, just in case you're playing and you're wondering. The transfers, I think this is going to be kind of easy. I'll use some typography with a floral. Those will be my 2, like, I should use a different word, contradicting transfers. Stencils, I wonder if, I have a Roycycled stencil that has a small cloche on it. And I think that that might fit on here. Wouldn't that be cool if I could do a raised cloche stencil, and then I could pair the decoupage paper with the same stencil and then layer something as if we're putting something in the stencil. All of a sudden, I'm excited. Okay, sorry. And then transparent paper. I wonder if I have any of Ricky Schumacher's paper. I do. Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. And nothing that I pulled out today is going to make it on this project. Just saying. So I'll pull stuff out, and I think that I know what I'm going to do, but I legitimately don't know. So we're going to have to see. Oh my, Royce has caught my morning brain. Oh, good. um, yes, Micah. Is it Micaiah? I hope I'm saying it right. This would be, oh yeah. Hey, This would be a really fun game. I think it's a way for us to operate outside of what we normally do. So, if you're new to Mixed Media Monday, the purpose of today is just for us to, I should make like a laboratory logo for Mondays. Maybe I'll change it. Anyways, I digress. This is about coming into my laboratory. And just playing. And then we just see what happens because I feel like when we allow space in our like practice to literally just play and experiment and not be married to the outcome, that is a space where we really grow creatively. And so this is a challenge for you guys to hang out with me on Monday mornings and either co-create with me. You guys can download the game and you can play. Someone last week, she played along with me, so she used my six and she created with it. That's fine too. But it is literally just like a lab. So we're here, we're going to experiment, we're going to see what happens. Sometimes stuff might blow up. I'm just telling y'all, it might always be good, but we will definitely learn something every time. Um, oh, a gilded transfer using bungalow. Did you show me that one, Flea? And I would love, if you guys are doing co-working sessions with me, I would love to see your projects. Love to see your projects. So I have the paper that I want to use. I'm going to duck out for 1 second because I need to find the stencil because I believe I know exactly which one I want to use, but I got to find it because of course it's not one, not of course, I shouldn't say that. I am blessed. I live a charmed life. I don't know why I always say of course, like bad stuff happens to me because it doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying bad stuff never happens to me, but like I am so blessed. So it's not like of course it's not here as if things don't work out for me because they do. But it's just that I pulled out all these stencils and that wasn't one of them. So, but I know it's here because I pulled it out last time we were here and I didn't end up using it. Okay. So this is the apothecary stencil. I love this stencil. I know I'm so weird, you guys. Maybe it's this way. And you guys can see it's like you have a beer, there's a jar. I'm gonna be using, oh, maybe I'll use like different ones because I have two. I have like a little bottle here. There's like a label. This is a beaker, right? This is what they call these. Anyways, it's like different apothecary stuff. And so I am thinking that um, I can do an offset raised cloche on here. And then I'm going to show you guys how, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how we can take advantage of the transparency of this paper to make it look like glass on this cloche. So we'll do that. And I'm going to do a cloche on one. And then I think I'll do a beaker on the other one. Let me see. And I only have so much room on my tag. And I never put stuff center. You guys already know that. When Roycycled was new and I used to do these decoupage papers. I stopped doing faces. I'm going to start again. My issue with the faces were that I could never find anything that looked like me. And if I wasn't going to have me, then I just decided not to have anybody. Not me specifically, but you guys know what I mean. And so I had stopped doing faces. But now that I'm painting, I can paint people who look like me, which means I can start reintroducing my faces. But I would do these like 3/4 faces on these huge pieces of paper, which I thought were fabulous, but I drove people crazy. They didn't like it. Now, I mean, some people did, but not everybody. But I'm going to offset this beaker on one. And then on the other one, we will do an offset of this cloche. And then we're going to use this paper and we're going to take advantage of the transparency of this. And I'll be using it with it because we're going to use our stencil to cut out the shape of the paper. So that's our stencil and that takes care of our transparent paper. And that also takes care of the texture. It says the texture needs to be under the paper. We're going to cheat a little bit. Okay, fine. I'll make the glass go. Oh, that's good. I'll make the glass go over the cloche. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then for transfers, you guys, we're actually going to put some transfers underneath our decoupage paper for this project. So we're going to make this paper transparent enough for you to actually be able to see the transfer under the paper. I'm super excited now. Maybe I should create when I'm decaffeinated more often because I thought I was going to struggle with that a lot longer. And I almost wonder, like, if I do a glass on one and then do something else on another one. Like, because wouldn't this look cool if these were inside of this cloche? Let me think for a moment. Let my mind percolate for just a second. Do I want to put them in the jar? I could put them in the jar. Do I want to grab a third tag? You have no idea what's going on in my mind right now. It is absolute mayhem. Oh, this would be so pretty. We'll see. So I'm not going to use my scrappy because the scale of these pieces is a little bit bigger, right? Than my this scale isn't going to work. I'm sad because I was kind of looking forward to making some. And then I'm not going to use the end paper. So I'm going to put these away. You guys notice it. You guys see what happens? And I have learned that playing this game to take my time and be thoughtful. I mean, not like super thoughtful because we are experimenting, but I do think that if I take my time, I'm going to like think more clearly. I have this little scrap of the musical masterboard decoupage paper that I could use because it would be completely transparent. That would be cool. But I think I know what I'm going to do. What do I need? I'm going to find, I have, um, did I not bring it out here? Dang it. I have some gel. So I have some modeling paste from Pentart that we can absolutely use. We'll just use it because it's here. I was thinking in my mind that I would use the gel because they have like a thick gel, but I don't see it out here. I think I took it in the house to use for something and I didn't bring it back out. So we'll use the modeling paste. It'll be fine. Everything is fine. It's fine. So we'll use the modeling paste through the stencil, and that's going to be my physical texture. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do on the base. So this is what I'm contemplating. I know that we're going to put my hands are so freaking dry. I know that we're going to put the raised stencil on here, and I know what we're going to do inside of the raised stencil, but I don't know what we're going to do around it. So that's where I'm contemplating right now. I don't think that I want to just paint them white. I'm thinking that I want to decoupage the background and then put the raised stencil and the other stuff on the top. So let's go ahead and get these decoupaged with a nice background design first, and then we will go on to do the rest. I'm probably going to have to paint the inside of my cloche white so that, well, do we care? Well, we'll look. We'll see. We'll look and see. But let's start off with some background. I do want my background to be relatively like, I don't want it to be, it needs to be the background, right? I don't want it to be competing with what we're doing on top. So like I'm not going to use anything that's really dense. Like this is really funny. You guys see how this stamp, which I love by the way, is really dark and dense. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to be looking for like really light scripty pieces to use as background so that they're there supporting what I'm going to do on top, but they're not competing with what I'm going to do on top. So let's start there. Let's do that. I think I love, love, love this paper. This paper is an example of all the things that I love about old paper. Like this is why I love typography is this paper right here. It's so freaking yummy. So I have this little scripty piece right here, which is kind of a beautiful support piece because it is like pretty. Can you guys see what I'm talking about? But it's still not heavy. Like visually, it doesn't have a lot of weight. So I think that we're going to do that. And it'll actually help me balance out. I just don't want this on here because it is heavy. I'm going to end up with this, but it's okay. I may have to do some magic. So what I'm doing is the top of this piece is like this wide, and then it gets thinner, 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 thinner on the way down, which means this is going to be the perfect counterpart to my putting something here on the other side. Because what I put, whenever I put here, is going to be large on the bottom and it's going to get smaller on the top. So this is going to help me visually to balance everything out. And it's also going to offer like a beautiful support for everything that we're going to be doing on top. You guys get to be in my mind today because um, it's just where I am. I'm still in, what is it when you first wake up in the morning? Delta, theta, delta? Your mind, your state of your mind. Anyways, I think I'm still there. So you guys get to hear like a stream of consciousness as I think through this. I apologize ahead of time. There's mayhem in here. So that's one. So we know that that's going to be one of ours. And the other one, I think I want to just use, I have this piece here from a ledger. And I thought about the music notes too, because they're handwritten and they don't have a ton of kind of visual weight. But I think that the scale of it is kind of throwing me off a little bit. Let me see something. I'm wondering if I can bring in kind of the edge of it here, which I have some smaller scripts. Maybe it'll be okay. Or I can just go with this one, which I think all that crown is going to get on there, which I definitely don't want the weight of that. I really just want the script. So I guess that answers my question. Or I could use the end papers. Let's do this one. I think this is good. This is so yummy. This is one of those papers that you really don't. Oh, and there's a label right here too. Oh, okay. We'll do this one. It does have a stamp on here. So there is a stamp right here. You guys see that? But it doesn't this stamp right here doesn't have the same weight as like this stamp has, right? The line work on this is a lot thicker and it's a lot darker. The line work on this one is thinner, right? And it's also lighter. So it just doesn't carry the same visual weight. So I think it's going to be fine. I love the fact that I have like this kind of a laboratory tag right here, label. Um, and even though you're not going to be able to see it all, it's going to be there. And we're working with like beakers and stuff. I might even cut that one and put on. We'll see what happens. But I'm thinking that this is going to be perfect. And you guys see that little piece of warm right there? I just love that so much. I need to do more of that on my designs because I love it. So I want that warmth. And I don't even know if it's going to show up, but I'm going to put it because I want it. And then I'm going to get the edge of this bird cage. Or maybe, Lord have mercy for Jesus. Y'all pray for me. So my thought was maybe I could use this bird cage here as a counterweight, but it kind of has the same proportions as what I'm going to add, so it's not really going to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this side. And I'm just running my fingers along the edge of my tag so that I can mark my paper so I know exactly where to trim. And not that I'm not that I'm trimming directly on that mark. I'm actually trimming a little bit over just in case, leave myself just a little margin of error. And I always feel rushed when I come on Mixed Media Mondays. And I told myself when I came today that I was going to relax and slow down. So This is supposed to be a relaxing exercise, not a marathon, right? Let's start with some white paint. Um, I like to paint light under my decoupage paper so that the whatever's on the paper is really the star of the project. And I'm using Pent Art's Creamy Acrylic. This is matte. And I'm just going to put a base of white on here. Howdy, is it Sharita? Correct me if I'm saying your name wrong because I got priors. I know, right? I'm percolating without coffee. That's dangerous. Dangerous. Jeanette says, I have been doing paper flowers and wreaths more recently, so this is nice to get a good decoupage stimulation. Just reset my craft room and looking forward to playing with glue and paper again. Ooh, paper flowers are so much fun though. I always wanted to learn how to make them. But I didn't. That's interesting. That's one of those things that I watch people do and I say that I'm going to learn how to do it. But I haven't. So I just missed it in my board, you guys. So the paper, you guys see how just a little bit of mist helps your paint spread more. I remember when I painted, I used to paint furniture is where I started with this whole creative journey of mine. And when I discovered the misting spray bottle, it was like, oh, that's what it felt like. um, and I remember like there weren't a lot of people using it at that time. That was the beginning. It was years ago now. Um, but when you're blending paint colors, it makes a humongous difference when you have a misting spray bottle. Sharita, okay. Because have you guys? There is a skit. I think is it SNL or Mad TV? Um, is it Jordan Peele is his name? Anyways, he plays like this old substitute teacher, and he's used to working in black neighborhoods. And so he goes to this school, and the little boy's name is Blake, and he's like Balake, Balake, Ron. Anyways, sorry. I think it's hilarious, but he kind of took an old because there's another comedian who talks about when they moved into like an urban um city, and his name was Darren, and he said when he moved to that school he changed his name to Deron, and then Jordan Peele just kind of took that joke and expanded it way bigger, and it's hilarious, right, Micaiah? Like the first time I heard it I was laughing like for real, for real. And so now when I see my friend Aaron, I'm like, hey, Ron. I quote TV way too much. Like I don't even watch enough TV to quote TV as much as I do. Because my friend Sean Wenham, I don't know if he likes it. Sean, if you're watching, I don't know. But I call him Sean, like from Psych, how he would say Sean's name. Sean. Actually, Karen, no, it's a full-on skit. You may have seen, they may have taken a clip to make a commercial, but legitimately, it's a full-on skit. It's hilarious. And have you guys ever had, like, I remember we would have substitute teachers that were like retired teachers. And, the world is interesting because we're all older now. And so we just think the world has changed so much. But the reality is the world has been changing, right? And each generation ushers on changes for the next generation. And so I remember having old retired teachers come and be substitutes in our classes. And it just being so funny because their worldview was just so different from ours. And so I can just imagine, like, could you imagine an old substitute teacher going to teach English right now with these kids using AI? Like, what would that even look like? Oh my gosh. Like a retired teacher, like a 70-year-old coming into the classroom to teach today after not teaching for a while. Like that would be like two different worlds, literally. Hello there. Hey, Sister So, how are you doing this morning? Y'all, I love this thing so much. I'm not even supposed to use it like this. It's actually an embossing gun. You're supposed to use it with embossing powders, which I shared a video, and I know y'all, this y'all seeing Royce Unfiltered today. I know I'm a lot this morning, but it is what it is. It's early. My mind is all over the place, is what I mean. I shared a video about a cardboard project. So sometimes I just sit in the living room at my little, TV table, and I'll do crafts when I don't have time to take on full-on projects. And so I shared a video from one of my sessions where I used embossing powder and cardboard to make a project. And on YouTube specifically, people are very interested in doing a tutorial. So I may circle back to that process because I kind of left it a little bit and do some more and do some tutorials on that. Now, this isn't like perfect. You guys can see it's kind of streaky, but we're going to be layering, so it doesn't matter. So let me do super quick decoupage. And for decoupage, you guys, if you have like a water-based clear coat or a sealer top coat, it's all the same on your table, you could absolutely use that to decoupage. I use it if I'm going to be decoupaging like furniture or home decor, anything that's going to see a lot of action. I will use that because it's going to be durable, right? Because I can use it to adhere my paper and also to seal my paper. Generally, if I'm working on projects like this or in my art journal or, something like that, I'll use a matte medium to do, and I'm going to use my matte medium. I'm going to adhere it and I'm going to seal it because it's a tag. No one's going to be like sitting on it or anything. So I don't need it to be like crazy durable. And if you have that on your table, you can use that. If you have like decoupage glue, I have these two from Pin Art, matte and ultra matte. I don't know. These are like creamier. So usually I love using these when I'm doing like heavier projects. So you guys remember the one can that I did, the dark one with the labels? The clear coat or top coat was a little thin for that. And I should have used something a little bit thicker, either like a gel medium or like a creamy decoupage medium that has a little bit more weight. So you can use whatever you have to decoupage. Like you don't have to go out and buy exactly what you see me using. If you have something, use it. If your husband's listening, he's probably thankful that I'm telling you to use what you have. Sorry. I cracked myself up. But I am going to decoupage this super quickly. I'm going to mist this paper. You guys, this is just water in this misting bottle. There's nothing special in here. And I am going to set this aside and let it chill. And what's happening while we're chilling is the fibers in this paper is actually expanding. One of the reasons that you get wrinkles when you decoupage is because you're trying to adhere your paper to the surface, and your paper is literally moving because it's responding to the moisture in your adhesive or your decoupage medium. And so you're gluing it down and it's moving. And so that's why you end up with wrinkles. So by misting your paper first and having everything expand ahead of time, it prevents that because now my paper is not going to respond to the moisture of this product. And you guys will see I put a generous amount of my adhesive on there because my paper is full already, essentially, right? It's full of water. It's not going to suck up the decoupage medium like it does when it's dry. And so to ensure like really good adhesion, I am going to add just a little bit extra to make sure it sticks really nicely. And I'm sad because I wasted all that paper. I'll use it on something, but I should have made that cut a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to go ahead and seal this really quickly. And now that I know what I'm doing, I can move fairly quickly. You guys, I love this paper so much. Look at that. It's pretty pretty. I'll just set it on top of this for right now. Let's get the other one done. Let me move my paper before I get something on it. Oh, I did pull out a palette and then I just put that on my mat. It's fine. Oh, okay. Let me do something really quickly on this one. I didn't do it on this one, but I'm going to go in. I'll use this for that. I'm going to go in with some ink really quickly and put like a halo on here. Um, So we're going to end up with 2 different pieces, which is kind of cool. Girl, the time change messed me up this morning. We're going to have to move this up an hour because I don't think I'm functional at 9 a.m. Oh, sister, it's a fun project. It really is. And I need to do a tutorial on that. We'll do that. I don't know. I'm telling myself I'm going to start doing YouTube videos, but y'all, I need to clone myself. Can I clone myself? Is that legal yet? Because that's what I need to do. But yes, I do. Actually, I'm excited to do that tutorial. I love doing crafts with cardboard because it's cardboard, right? Like you don't have to be precious about it because it doesn't matter. And so I'm going to go around my edges. And usually you guys will see me use more of like black than and what I just put on here, let's see, this is ILD ink. This is turmeric. And this one is stone gray. That's why it's not dark enough. I'm going to add a little bit of black in there because the stone gray is not very dark. So if you want it to be more like this color, the stone gray will deepen it without really changing it. But I'm going to add a little bit of black because I do want that to be a little bit darker, just a wee bit. And this is the ink from ILD. It is a permanent ink, which is nice because I can use the heat from my embossing gun to set this, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go all around the perimeter. When I painted furniture, a good halo was my friend. Of course, it's probably not the style anymore, is it? This has become my blending brush because this is basically all I use it for. I don't want my edges to be harsh, so I'm just blending them out a little bit. Is Micaiah still on here? She paints furniture. Is that still the style, Micaiah? I am going to paint furniture again. I have a small piece. I was going to start with this big giant piece, but I think that's the problem. So I have a smaller piece in my storage that I think I'm going to use. I thought that would blend more than it did. This side doesn't matter as much because I'm going to cover all that up anyways, but I need for this side to look really organic. I don't like, sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't like like sharp edges. I prefer softer transitions. There we go. That's going to be better. And this one's pretty sharp, but we all know we're going to cover all that up. So no sense like taking time. So now I have my halo underneath my paper, and I could have just as well done that over my paper too. But I do like the subtlety of having it under my paper. You should follow up your I need to do with the after the retreat. Huh? Destiny's asking if I have a tutorial on how to upholster or how to decoupage upholstery. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not fully on board with decoupaging upholstery. Like, and I know that there are a lot of people who do it, and I'm not speaking badly about what they're doing at all. At all. I just want to manage expectations, I guess. I know with the rice paper, you have a little bit more flexibility because the fibers of the rice paper do act differently than the fiber in the tissue paper. But to me, if I decoupage a piece of upholstery, I'm basically making an art piece. And my expectation is not that it's going to be functional. And so I haven't really done a tutorial about that because of that. Like I just have not issue, but I have questions. I'll say that. I have questions about the functionality of a piece of furniture that's been decoupaged. Now, if I had a chair, like an armchair, and I wanted to decoupage the back, like, not the back where you sit, but like the back of the chair, yes. Like absolutely, right? Because no one's going to be sitting on that. But like a chair seat or the back of a chair, I just wonder like how durable that's going to be over time, because decoupaging something, while it does change the nature of the paper, it's still paper. And that makes my, it might be my ignorance. I'm not saying that I know for sure, but I have been like hesitant because of that reason. Oh, I'm sorry, Makai. Well, you make beautiful stuff though. So I know. And I mean, we, not that we should care what's in style, I guess, but I do know that trends, we all know. It's just it's life, right? Things come and go in trends. And back in the day, look, I sound like an old woman. Back in the day when I was painting furniture, it was the trend to like blend out the drawers so that they were darker around the edges and lighter in the middle. I love doing it because I felt like it gave dimension. Because you guys know lighter colors expand and darker colors kind of withdraw. And so visually, and that's why I like halos, I think, because you can add like visual dimensions by doing that. It's trickery. But I also know that sometimes when you learn how to do something a certain way and then you like come back, um, your methods look dated because they are, you know, it just is. Although dated is back right now, some dated. All this avocado green I'm seeing right now is cracking me up because I remember my grandmother's avocado green refrigerator. Okay, so let's get this one decoupaged and then we can get to, I mean, all of it's fun, but I'm excited about the rest of the project. I didn't get my little red piece on there. Dang it, a little bit, but barely. It's probably going to end up covered up anyways. But you guys remind me the next time I make some paper, I need to put more rusty bits on there. I'm actually designing right now. You guys, I use oh, okay. I use Photoshop to design my papers. And I have been designing so much lately because I'm working on another huge project plus my own designs. That last night I had a dream. My dreams are so ridiculous. And I was at an event and they were serving a soup and I was looking at the soup and I was like, "Oh, this is a really beautiful pattern on the soup." And I was trying to use a clipping mask, which is like it's a function on Photoshop, on the soup, and I was upset because the pattern, the scale of the pattern was too big for the mask I was trying to create. Like I'm literally, I am not even kidding. Just it is absolute mayhem in here. You say that you should do a variety of things like make tutorials. I was saying you should add the caveat that you'll be do so after the retreat. Oh, I know, Flea. So the Roycycled retreat, you guys, is coming up April 24th through the 27th. And we still have seats available. So if you're interested in coming, by all means, please come and join us. Um, it starts Thursday night, but Thursday night is like casual, right? We have a meet and greet in the bar at the event hotel, and we're gonna have food, but not like it'll finger foods, but I mean, for me, what we're serving it would be enough for dinner, but maybe somebody else will want to go and get like food. So there'll be food there. You get 2 drink tickets, and the bartenders are actually going to make us a custom drink, the Roycycled Besties drink. I have no idea what it's going to be. That'll be Thursday night, and then Friday, all day Saturday, we're creating at the convention, at the not convention. It's not a convention, um, at the retreat space where we'll be hanging out. We'll be creating. Your breakfast will be provided for you. Your lunch will be provided for you during that time. You'll just have to find your own dinner on those days. And then on Sunday, we have like half a day. We are released at like 1 o'clock. So that because we're in a rural community and the closest airport is hours. So I wanted to be like thoughtful about people and needing to travel. So we're half a day on Sunday, but we will serve brunch on Sunday. So that's the event. All of your supplies will be provided. You guys will get aprons, supplies that you'll get to take home. Not all of them, but some of them. It's really, really good. The value is a lot. And I am, as the days go by, I'm getting more and more excited about it. More and more excited about it. So if you guys are interested, let me know. And I can actually, if you're on Facebook, you can put retreat in the comments and you'll get a message. If you're on YouTube, let me know. I can put a QR code up for you. I probably will put one up in a few minutes, but let me get these sanded real quick, like, so that we can get to the other part. I'm always, when I'm doing lives, I'm always trying to think like, what order should I do this so that things have time to dry? And like right now for the curriculum for the retreat, I know what I want to accomplish, but I also have to take into account like drying time for stuff. So you guys can, I've like redone it 50 times. Like if we do this, then we can do that while that's drying. And then, I try to think about a lot of different things. Like, so you guys aren't sitting for a long time. What are we going to do right after lunch? Because people are generally, you guys know how we are. We're a little sluggish after lunch. So I want to do something where we're moving around a little bit. I don't know. I try to think of all the things. And then, like, our town is so excited. We're having our spring festival that same weekend. So we're on historic downtown Safford Main Street for the event. And at the end of the main street is the spring festival. So if your husband or somebody is driving you, like, they'll have stuff to do. It is going to be really good. And I will tell you, and I am not saying this, try to do a pressure sell. It is that God's honest truth. I don't know if we are going to do it next year because there are some questions about the availability of the space that we're using. And I'm in a small town. There's not a lot of options for spaces around here. So I'm really heartbroken about it. So I don't know. I don't know what next year's going to look like. um, anyways, so we'll see. And I have this little corner that's not adhered, or it is adhered, but it's not flat. Oh, you know what? It probably pulled up a little bit because of the paper that was hanging off the side. Okay, so I'm just going to set these aside and let them dry. I wish I had I have one right there. I robbed David of his little emery boards so I can use them in my craft room. Although some sandpaper wrapped around something round would probably be better, but and these little tools you see me using a lot, these are actually tools that pottery artists use, but they are really awesome to have at your table because you have so many different like blades and pokers and like usually whatever I need exactly is there. Like this is like a little mini knife thingy. So I can just cut this edge off. And I probably should wait until it's completely dry, but you guys know I'm not going to because I've started now, so I have to finish. I'm so ridiculous. Okay, so we'll set this aside and let it dry. And let's work on our pieces that we're going to make to go on here. So did we decide, you guys, I know I want to do the cloche. I'm excited about that. Like I have a very specific vision. I feel like the cloche belongs on this one. You know, we got the little pretty bird cage over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole cloche, and then we can use the paper to decide placements. So this is an old design, and I'm sorry. I mean, this is not available at the warehouse anymore, but I do know that there are retailers who still have this. And this one is Ricky Schumacher. She was a guest artist and this is an abstract landscape that she did. And I can't think of the name of it. If there's a recycled retailer on here who can help me out, that would be so wonderful. Because I can't remember the name of it. But I love this paper so much because you have this, and you really, oh, you guys can see it. You guys see that it's blue, but it's not just blue. It's like all this beautiful texture. And this is actually an encaustic wax piece, I believe. And so you can see like all this gorgeous, yummy texture that's in here. So I'm going to use a lighter portion of this for my cloche. I'm trying to decide what piece I want to use. I think I'm going to use this piece right here. This would be cool, but I feel like it might be a little disruptive. So I'm looking for somewhere where there's some interest, but there's not like a ton going on. And let me trim off this block right here because I'm going to mess around and get something on my paper. Okay. And I am going to stencil right on top of this paper. Let me find my beauty blender. I like using beauty blenders when I do this because they're going to leave like a feather light mark on the paper, just enough for me to be able to see where to cut. And I'm just using some of my IOD ink that I used for my halo earlier. And I am just going to go around. And this can be, when you do it, you feel like you're not doing anything because you can't see it. But then when you lift it up, you can see it. You can see the mark like clearly. But when you're in the act of actually putting it on there, it's weird. I'm just going to go around the edges primarily because like these spots in the middle are meant to represent like the reflection of the glass. And so I'm going to want to use white on those later. So I'm really just marking around the edges so that I know where to trim my paper. I don't want to pick up too much ink, so there we go. Okay. So I've stenciled and you can barely see it, but you can see it, right? That's the mark from the stencil. And I am going to go around and trim it just outside of that. And I'm going just outside of the lines for this one. Usually when I'm doing this, I'll cut just inside of the line so that my paper will go to the edge of the stencil. Know what I mean? But since my stick said that my texture needs to be under the paper, I'm actually cutting just outside the line because I gotta follow the rules, right? If I'm gonna challenge you guys to do the game, I have to be willing to do it myself. Okay. So this is the le cloche. So I have to figure out like I know I want it off edge. So composition is one of those weird things. It's something that I am super sensitive to. I'm not good at all the elements of art. Let me tell you, there's some things I struggle with, like value is like a struggle for me, but this one's not. If I put this like here, you see how this is the same height as that? Like that's going to be a lot less interesting. There's like that little label that's right there. So I want to move it down just a little bit so that I do have some variety. I don't want to have it be the same height as that. Honestly, if I were to do this all over again, I would rather have this be lower and have my cloche be higher. But here we are. It's fine. So I'm going to put my cloche like right here. I do want a significant amount of my cloche to be on here. And if I were to cut this into thirds, right? So let's just say 1, 2, 3. I'm going to want like this to cover like 2/3 as far as the width of this piece. So I just don't want to have my line be like in the middle. So I'm putting, this is like the center basically, and my line is just past center. So that's why I'm choosing to put my cloche right here. And I'm just going to mark off where we're going to put it. I'm not going to cut it yet because I might change my mind. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to mark it so that I remember where I wanted to place it because we're actually going to put something underneath our cloche. So that's my next thing is we're going to use a transfer. Was a trans? Oh yeah, I have to use contradicting transfers, which honestly, this is going to be so fun. So fun. I need to find a flower. And I think I'm going to go to my go-to flowers lately. There is one transfer from IOD that and I don't know the name of it. Lee, I know you know the name of it. Um, but like I am with this transfer, and I think it's because it's like a non-floral floral. Because you guys know I'm not a frou-frou girl. Oh, there's the game. So it's like a non-floral floral. See what I mean? Like it's a floral, but it looks more like a botanical. It doesn't really look like flowery floral. So I'm gonna look on here and see if I can find a piece to go inside of my cloche. Super quickly, this is the mashup game. This is what it looks like when you print it out. There's 2 pages. And so these up here, you see there's 4 and then there's 4 challenges. So like you'll cut out this top part, it'll go on the top of your stick, and then the challenge will go on the bottom. So you'll end up with 4 sticks under paint, if that makes sense. So like on our first day we did together, I picked paint bright colors was one of my challenges. And so I did a super bright underpainting that day. So let me see. Oh, this would be really pretty. Do I want white though? That's not going to be the right scale though. That's going to be too big. So let's see if I can find another piece. I may have to look for another flower. I don't wanna. There has to be a piece on here that will work. You know what, Micaiah? I love this so much. I love it because like I'm doing like little bitty tiny tags, right? And there's probably something on here I can use, but this is beautiful on furniture. It really, really is. The Lost Garden transfer. Thank you, Chris. Lost Garden. See, I knew y'all would have me. Flea knows too. Um, hey Sharon, girl, I'm doing better. I am doing better. Thank you. We were down for a solid week. Hey Dagny, Emerald Valley. Which one is that one? So let me see. Maybe this little sprig right here will fit in there. I think so. I think we can use that. I don't want to spend too much time because we're already, what time is it? Lord have mercy for Jesus. Y'all have been here for an hour already. No, I'm just kidding. Time goes by so fast. I remember the first time that I went live, and at that time, like you were supposed to go live like for at least 20 minutes. And it was like 20 minutes. And then it went up to 40 minutes. And I just remember being like, 40 minutes. And now I'm like 1 hour later. Crazy. Okay. I think that this spray, oh, how precious would that be? And it's going to go off edge a little bit, but you guys know I love that. So this is going to go inside of my clothes. I will put that sprig. Because I'm bringing this white, I'll see how it looks under the paper. I may have to bring in something to balance that out. But I think that this is good. So let's, and I'm all like putting my paper, but I still have to put my stencil. This is modeling paste. It's just a thick paste. I don't know. You can use, so I'm going to do a raised stencil. You can use a gel medium. You can use modeling paste. You can use, there's so many different things that you could use to make a raised stencil. So I'm using modeling paste today, but you don't have to use modeling paste. You probably already have something that's thick. You can take and mix some salt wash with your paint, right? To make a raised stencil. And if you have Dixie Belle, I think that they have a different powder that's essentially, it's similar to salt wash that you can use. And it literally just pressing it through your stencil to create the raised stencil. I do want, before I make my raised stencils, I want to make sure that I cut my papers out. Look, I'm trying to think orderly because once I dirty up the stencil, I'm not going to want to have it on my paper. So let me, what did I say I was going to use on this one? Did I decide that I was going to use something different? I wish I had like, let me see something really quickly. Because if I'm going to put something underneath it, I don't want to have whatever's on top of it be distracting. But it'd be nice if I could do like como se dice, an amber bottle, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I wonder if I have a space on here that's blank enough for me to be able to create. There is a little like a watercolor wash on there, but I think that it'll be fine. And we said we were going to do the beaker on one, right? So like, what if my beaker wasn't just blue? I wish I had a whole sheet of this because I think there's another. And even the blank spots on this paper isn't blank. Like there's stuff, there's script here. Let me see. Let me see. That would be kind of cool, actually. Let's do that little piece. Because, like, I think this is going to work. And I'm looking for light paper because I need my paper to be able to be transparent. So if I use something super dark, like if I were to use the black, it would be fine. I could use it, but I wouldn't to make it transparent. And the transparency is part of the challenge. So although I don't have to do both of them transparent, do I? I can do one opaque and one transparent. But now I'm already off to this idea, so I got to finish it. There's this little, you guys see that right there? It's like a little, it's almost like you put tape and you pull it up. You know what I mean? Right there. Oh, there's some right there. Let's do that side. That's more organic. It'll look like sediment, like at the bottom of my beaker. I know I'm crazy, y'all. You guys get to come and see the madness. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So that way the beaker, or maybe I should do a bottle if it's going to be like a, never mind. We're going to do the beaker. Stick with the plan, all right? Stick with the plan. So that way it'll have interest. And this is a paper that's readily available because Ricky's really isn't, other than what's out there. I'm hoping I had stopped working with artists because our new model really increased our overhead, and we do profit share with our artists when we work with them. But I'm thinking about doing like special short runs with artists, and then those papers will just have to cost more, right? Because I have to pay the artists who are making it. But customer, you'll have access to like original art. So that's something that's on the horizon. I probably should not share as much as I do with you guys, but I can't help it. As my friend says, I cannot hold water. That's what she tells me. And she's right. I was so proud of myself because I bought David some Chucks. My husband had Chucks that were like literally like 45 years old, and they finally just fell apart. So I bought him some Chucks for Christmas, and I did not give them to him until Christmas Day. That's a huge accomplishment for me because I cannot hold water. Okay. So, oh, this is going to be such a fabulous speaker. And look at something, ¿cómo se dice? Oh man, I could have had bubbles coming out. Sorry, my brain is thinking. So I'm going to trim this. I don't want to cut my little birdie though. But look at that. The words are going up. So it's almost like they're coming out of the top right there, right? So I kind of want to leave some of my background paper. Maybe not. We'll see. That'll be an idea. And so this is a moment where I'm looking at this, right? And I'm like, that is such a cool idea. And then I have these little marks on here that are round. So I can probably even reposition this to play with that idea a little bit more. And I won't do it today because we don't have time. I need to stick to my plan. But this is kind of one of those things that I wasn't planning, right? But because we're together, it's kind of a discovery that I can play with later. And just that's what happens when when you allow yourself opportunities to just play and experiment. Like that's where the discoveries happen, and that's where the unique discoveries happen, right? Like, Solomon says there's nothing new under the sun. Like everything has been done. And that's absolutely true. Like there's nothing new under the sun. However, I do think that when you play and experiment in your own space, that you're more likely to come up with something that is, unique to you as far as your art practice or your creative practice. And it's not that we're under pressure to always be doing something new or, completely inventive, because I do think that's a farce. Best case scenario, we can hope to put together a series of actions that resemble something that's completely unique, right? Like if we're being honest. Um, but everything under the sun has been done. However, if you are really wanting to come up with like something that's unique and fun, playing is when it happens. So look, like it looks like I have sediment right here in the bottom of my bottle, right? And then it's coming up. So are we going to put something in here though? I don't know that I necessarily need this to be, let me think. What can I put in there? Do you guys have an idea of what I can put in here? Because it doesn't have to be a transfer. Oh, I should have done the jar because I could put bugs in there. Okay, I'm going to save this beaker for another day. I'm sad. I'll make another chingadera. This is what I wanted to do. And I don't need this to be transparent. I am like following the rules. I do have one piece of transparent paper, but they don't both have to be transparent, right? It's like I have these little this is the Junk Journals project block paper, and I have these little pieces here. And why not put something that's already like put together in a jar would be fun, I think. I do wish there was a little bit more. I'll figure it out. So this is going to blend in the background more than I would like it to, because this is going to be super similar to the color of the tag. Actually, I don't like that. Where did I have? I had a piece of paper in my hand that had 3 bugs on it. It was this one. I think I like that better. The vibe is better. They have a similar tone, so I'm gonna have to do something so that this stands out against all the other stuff that's going on that tag. But it could just as easily be like going around the edges with some charcoal, right? It doesn't have to be super complicated. I'm just gonna cut out this block. The project blocks are so fun, you guys. If you are new to like crafting and creating, um, the project blocks are nice because they're already coordinated for you. And so it really doesn't matter what you make. Everything that you make from this block is going to go well together. And you can mix and match if you want. Like I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I know I made that beaker, but it's just, I'm going to save it for another day. I'm going to do this instead. And all of my bugs are not going to fit in my jar, which is fine, but I can get 2 in there. Okay. Even though I don't like putting even numbers, I like odd numbers better, but it'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And even when it's not fine, it's fine. I really need to make a shirt. There was probably already a shirt. I think there is. I think Whitney Walsh sent me a picture of a shirt that said that. Hey, Megan, how are you? Are you guys getting ready? I got to get done before Lynn goes live. Okay. And you guys know that Megan and Lynn are coming to the retreat. I am so excited that they're coming. I told Lynn though that she's just a guest, so she's just gonna like, I'm not gonna put her to work. And I'm gonna go just around the edge of this, and this is just so I know where to cut. And then the details, I'll go and I'll add those later when we get done with the actual piece. I probably could have done one of these tags today instead of 2. And I need my line just to be dark enough so I can see it, because I want to know where to cut. And you guys will notice that I'm holding my stencil in place while I'm double checking my line. This one is the one that's harder to see up here because it's in the midst of kind of, which I did by design, but I'm kind of regretting that decision now. Oh, I can see it. I kind of wanted the texture of the crown to be on the lid of my jar. So, and because we're going to be using the texture paste, I'm going to be cutting just outside of my stencil, right? Because my challenge is to use Cremonese. I cannot even see that jar lid. We'll make it up as we go. It'll be fine. It might be a little janky at the top, but you guys won't judge me, right? So this one is not going to be transparent, and it's fine. We're just going to paint the back of this paper, and we're going to put it on top of our raised stencil. Okay. So see what I'm saying? That jar kind of ended kind of nice right there. So we're going to put our bug jar on this one, and we're going to put our cloche with our transfer underneath on this one. But first we have to get the raised stencil. I still don't like that. We'll use the we thought it was going to be all smooth selling. My issue, yeah, it is, Sharon. It's too busy and the scale is just not right. So we're going to take that one off. We'll go back to the beaker. It's fine. I will just go over or around the beaker with some charcoal so that it stands out. But I'm going to paint the back of this though, because this doesn't need to be transparent, or does it? I'm going to think about this one. I'm going to put that one aside because I know exactly what I want to do with this one. So let's do that. So I'm going to put my rain. Is Jane here? Hey, Jane. Hey, is it Trees? Is that how you say your name? Trees? Trees? Therese? Judgment free zone. I know. This is a judgment free zone. It is. Don't judge me. I'm just kidding. You don't know my life. Me and my friends are just so ridiculous. Okay. That's about where I wanted my cloche. I want it down a little bit to the right. So I'm going to be using, oh Lord, what I do with my lid. This is Pent Arts modeling paste is what I'm using today. And I have a spatula in here somewhere. I actually, you guys know what? My favorite spatula is not even a spatula. I found these at Dollar Tree one year. Um, and I was so, oh no, this is not a Dollar Tree one, but I did find some like this at Dollar Tree. So you know when you go into the art department and you look for a spatula, like they're spendy, right? But if you go to the kitchen, look for tools for baking because they're a lot less expensive and they work really good. So this is what I'm going to be using. So it's not a fancy art spatula. It is to spread frosting, but it works perfectly and it's less expensive. Oh, okay. So trace rhymes with trees rhymes with grease. Very good. Welcome, trees. So I'm just look at that. It even looks like frosting. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. It's dangerous. That's probably going to be way too much. And I'm just going to push this through my stencil. I just want to make sure that I have it like positioned right. Because once I put, I mean, I could wipe it off because our paper is sealed, but I just assume not to have to make any corrections today. And I'm only going to put it, I'm trying to think if I want to put if I want to do raised stencil on the like the highlights and stuff. We'll go ahead and do everything. This is the spirit of the challenge, right? Is to put texture underneath the paper. So for those of you just coming in, my four sticks that I pulled today were one was physical texture underneath the decoupage paper. So that's why I'm doing a raised stencil under the paper. One was to use transparent decoupage paper. And so that's why we're using the Ricky Schumacher paper. I'm going to show you guys how to make it look completely transparent. So this is my texture that's going to be underneath my decoupage paper will be the cloche. And what was the other one? Let's see. Physical texture. Oh, my transfers. I had to use transfers that don't go together. So like, I don't know. I'm going to do the flower and I'm probably going to do like topography. I know they go together, but they're not the same. And that's my transparent paper. And then I had to pair the stencils with the decoupage paper, which is what I've done here. I used the apothecary stencil with the paper to make the shape. So those were my challenges. And then I had already pulled out these tags as my substrate that I'd be working on today. And I had a whole bunch of other stuff pulled out, but the game always, leads the way. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Oh, it's an offset spatula? Okay. It is an offset. I would probably sound a lot more professional if I said offset spatula instead of a cake spreading spatula. Yes, Micaiah. Jane is actually a guest at the retreat. You guys, Jane comes. I'm so grateful. You guys know, David says kismet. When things just happen exactly the way they're supposed to happen. I was planning the retreat last year, and Jane has been my mindset coach for like a few years now. Sometimes the things that you need in your business have nothing to do with the business itself. She teaches stuff about that too. But sometimes if you want your business to grow or you want to move forward in your business, you have to work on yourself first. A lot of barriers in our life are ones that we put there ourselves. And so working through how you think, how you operate, your expectations, all those things can be really powerful in your ability to really attain any goal. Mine are, business related primarily, but any goal that you have. Because being able to see yourself beyond the person that you are right now today is really hard. And being able to walk in it consistently and not return to old patterns or limiting thoughts is a challenge. So, being in when Jane's like, I took one of her courses and then I'm in her mastermind is super helpful. So she's going to be at the retreat. And last year, I saw the power of the work that she did with people because I'm going to be challenging you creatively. I was listening to the exit interviews, and there was a whole lot of Royce challenged me. Royce made me step outside my box. Royce really pulled me outside of, So there is that, right? Because we want to stretch. That's why we're coming, and we're coming together at the retreat. But the mind work sessions are not mind work sessions. The journaling sessions that Jane does really does help you to be able to see beyond like what you think you can do, or to at the very least to consider doing things outside of your norm. And we had one of the ladies at the retreat, and I teared up a little bit because she came to me the second day. It was like right after lunch, and she was feeling so empowered. And she's like, "Is it okay if I lead an exercise?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you guys know how we are after lunch. And she did a beautiful job. And, but it was through the work that she had done with Jane earlier in the week that brought her to that moment where she had the courage to step in front of a room full of strangers and lead that session. So I'm so happy that Jane is going to be there because it really does make a difference in the experience of my attendees. And I know that. Well, happy retirement, Carolyn. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. What are you going to do with yourself, girl? Thank you, Michelle. I am feeling better. I see that you're on the como se dice, the tall skinny screen, which is fine for today because I'm working on a small project. But if you want to see me wide on the wide screen, you can pop out and find the other one if you want. It's up to you. So I just want to make sure that that was dry before we go in decoupaging. But you see how those reflective marks really do look like the reflection of a glass. So we're going to go ahead and I should probably let that cool off for a few seconds before we put our flower in there um, inside of our cloche. This is so much fun. Maybe I should have waited to do these because I want to put my flower more over here, but I'm going to have to put it over a little bit so it doesn't go over those. But we'll let that cool off a little bit before we go on. And there's going to be a couple things that I'm going to do to this to make it the most transparent. So one of the things I'm going to need to do is find a gloss medium. And so I have Pintar's Decoupage Varnish Glue, and it's Silky Shine. So this is a gloss because all my mediums are, you guys know I like matte. So I'm going to use this to decoupage my paper. What we figured out, actually, Flea helped me figure it out. You guys know that your products that are matte, they have like little particulates in there. And what happens is they sit on the surface and the light is not able to like bounce directly because of the disturbance on the surface. And that's what makes your things look matte. Gloss doesn't have that. So the surface is super like glassy and the light bounces off more immediately, which is why it looks glossy. And we believe that the mattifiers in the matte is what causes your paper to be less transparent. So if you use a glossy medium, whether you're using varnish, whether you're using an acrylic medium, a decoupage medium, if you're trying to get your paper to be transparent, you want to use gloss. And then we're also going to mist our paper a little bit more than usual to make sure that it's all equally saturated. You know, sometimes when you mist your paper, you have like little white patches. If you're trying to take advantage of the transparency of your paper, you don't want that. So we're going to mist it a little bit more than usual. And then we're going to go right over the top immediately with our decoupage medium once we adhere it to our surface. And doing all those three things together really maximize the transparency of your paper. And one of the things that I love about Roycycled decoupage paper is that I do have the option of utilizing the transparency of the paper, you know, as a factor in my creative projects. Right? Anything is possible. I am like legitimately. And so when so I never finished my stories. When she asked if she could come to my retreat, I was like, yes, please. And so I'm so happy that she's coming back again this year. Okay. So let's get our botanical inside of our cloche. And I see a little bit of moisture. Hopefully we don't have any issues. On my last project, I didn't dry all the way. And so we did have, and you guys know that you can absolutely decoupage. I mean, you can put a transfer on top of your decoupage paper. You just have to make sure that your surface is completely dry before you decoupage. I mean, before you put your transfer on. And if what will happen if there's moisture is it'll start picking up the top of your paper. So if you lift your transfer and my paper is picking up with it, that means there's moisture under there. So you just want to leave it alone, just walk away, come back to it in a few hours and finish transferring, and it'll be fine. And of course, now Michael Jackson is in my head. Leave me alone. If you're just coming on, I forgot about I just didn't think about the time change. So we started at 9 a.m. this morning. I'm a little punchy. I'm a little punchy. It's early. I mean, I know it's not 9 o'clock anymore, but I had to get up early and I was up till 2 o'clock last night. So I am a night owl. I can be dead tired. And then at 10 p.m., I am just, I don't know, I'm ready to go. And I had a huge design project to work on last week. And poor David, y'all need to pray for him. And I was so laser focused. And, you know, we were sick last week, not feeling well, and like working on that project in between naps. And just the pressure of getting it done by deadline. And so I finally got it done and it was such a release. And now my brain is like going 50 miles an hour. She is like ready for the next thing. Okay. Oh, it's already pretty, right? Sorry. And so now we are going to put our paper over the top of this. And I know you guys are like, no, what are you doing? It'll be okay. I promise. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And even when it's not fine, it's fine. And because we're putting that, remember I cut on the outside of my paper, right? Because I wanted to go over the top of my, and I am going to cheat. I haven't decoupaged this yet. I guess, but I really want to know where I need to set this. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this because that's going to help me line this up. Okay. And this cloche is also available, like a larger cloche too. So if you're looking at the cloche and you're like, oh my gosh, I need that cloche, but I wish it was bigger, it is bigger. We have a bigger version of this one. Okay. So my paper, I do want to make sure that this transfer is like adhered all the way before I go and decoupage over the top of it. I am going to mist my paper. And like I said, I'm not going to soak it, but you guys see how sometimes when you spray, you have like spots that are white. I don't want that. I need for it to all be uniformly the same transparency all the way through, right? So I'm going to sit this somewhere clean. Sit that right there. And then I'm going to use my gloss medium, right? I want those particulates from the matte medium to disturb the transparency of my paper. I don't have any small brushes out here. And I like to just put my medium where I want my paper to stick. That way, if my paper lands somewhere where it's not supposed to, it won't stick there. It'll just, I can just move it. This is going to be like surgery putting this paper on here, but we can do it, right? My paper is pretty wet, so I do want to have a generous amount of my decoupage medium on my tag. I'm going to tell you guys what's going through my head right now, and you can laugh at me because it's hilarious. You guys remember Steve Rogers when we were young, the Bionic Man? And in the introduction, they had like the scene where they're like doing the surgery. I don't know. I can't remember the music. I mean, it's playing in my head, but there'll be a little white peeking from underneath. Okay. Now I'm going to go over this right away with my medium. Because I really, really want to maximize the transparency of. And now that my paper is down, I don't have to be as careful with my medium either. Usually what I'll do, like if I'm transferring, I call them medallions, like if you're transferring a piece of paper onto a surface, if I were to only go over this one part, it would look weird. Like it would look like I just stuck it on there because this part's matte and that part is shiny. So I'm going to go over the whole thing anyways, just to make sure that my surface is uniform. Okay. And now we're going to dry it. So you can see how it looks like I have a plant underneath a piece of glass, right? A man barely alive. Was it Steve? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The bionic man, right? When they were doing the surgery to make him bionic in the beginning. And so let's dry this. And then I need to make a decision because I feel like I need something else on here. It can't be just this, although it is 10:47. Lord have mercy. How do I go so long? Thank you, Sharon. It's 7. Oh my gosh, you're in Hawaii. That's right. 7. What are you doing up this early? Are you a morning person, Jane? No, it's funny because sometimes I'll have like customers get a little snippy with me about what time I get back to them the next day. It's because they're on the East Coast and I'm over here. I'm like, chill. It's like 7 o'clock here. I'll get back to you when I wake up, man. Oh, Sharon, you're going in April. Jane is there right now. So, ironically, the white is showing through a little bit more than I thought it would, which is kind of nice. Because it's not like stark white. It's like a subtle white. But I think we're only going to get one tag done today, you guys, because I don't want to fight with that other one. But I do feel like I need something here. This is like really boring. I need something. What do I need? I am going to drive somebody crazy. I can feel it. But, and I did get a little bit of my rust that stayed there. But this is just a piece of charcoal. And she's just looking a little bit too precious for me. So I got to grunge her up a little bit. I love charcoal so much. And I know that it's not going to stay right now, but I'm going to cheat and just kind of stick my finger in a little bit of matte medium or whatever you have. Medium, actually, I'm going to end up using varnish because it was handier. Maybe it's clogged up already. I did not use, I guess I used the warm topography. I did pull that out, but that's about all that I pulled out ahead of time. And I'm going to go around and just touch that charcoal so it can be set in place. I just want to make sure that it looks organic. I don't want it to look like, I don't know. And you know what I'm going to do? I did everything right on this one. We did texture. We did the stencil with the paper. We did the transparent paper. Oh, I need another transfer. So let me find a piece of topography because this needs it. You know, is there isn't there a transfer that has a bunch of labels on it? I know I have that transfer, but where is it is the question. Oh man, I could have used a plant from here inside of my thing too. That'd have been cool. Maybe, well, I guess butterflies do go with flowers though. That wouldn't be exactly. Ooh, a dragonfly would be pretty. So right now I'm thinking a couple of things. I wish I could bring blue somewhere else on there. Um, somewhere. And two, like a blue dragonfly would be so perfect. I need to have a transfer that is the opposite of that flower. And I was going to cheat and use a piece of topography, but I'm not really finding. Oh, that's a paint inlay. If you guys hear me fall, just call 911 because I am reaching way too far on this stool, which oh, you know what? I have this transfer, which I should know better because I've fallen before. And there are some of you who were there. I want to say it was either the patina class or the upholstery class. One of the two, not upholstery, the painted upholstery class. Um, so you guys remember this stencil? This is probably about as like opposite of a floral as I could get, right? or as contradictory to a floral as I can get. So let's see if there's something in here I can use in the next 8 minutes. No, there's nothing that I want to use. Oh, topography. Here we go. And I'd rather use pieces that I've already like cut up. What is going on here? Hmm. I don't know. You know, my problem is I want a label on here or something. I just want to use my stamps, but I'm gonna behave. This is like the last bit from what this one was. Oh, see, I wanted specimen as a word, but I don't know if they have it in a smaller font. What was this one, you guys? This was a transfer. This is an older one. I save all my transfer bits because you never know when you're gonna need it. Let's see. I like that. And I'll just use this. And I know this was a lot of somebody's thinking that's a lot of work for a tag. It is, and it really isn't about the tag. It's just about the exercise um, of kind of thinking outside yourself. So, in case you guys have not ever joined me on Monday, this is a mixed media Monday, and I play a game, and I have to draw out 4 random sticks from my mixed media mashup, and then I have to use everything that's on that stick. So I really have to be quick on my feet. When you guys are home, I don't think it's as hard, right? Because you can take your time. You really don't have a time constraint on it, and nobody's watching you. So I have to be quick on my feet and come up with something um, during the live. Like I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do until I get here with you guys. And so it's fun to watch me stumble around. And I mean, it's just play and discovery. So we were talking today about I'm calling it Mixed Media Monday, but I might rebrand it like to something else that has to do with like lab time or like a laboratory because that's what it is. We're here to play, to experiment, to discover. That's it. There's no test scores. There's no anything. It's just experimentation because where experimentation goes, creativity follows. And so that is what we're doing. Oh, is we're playing. Even though like I'm like married to my beaker now, so now I got to figure out how to use it. And the thing about for a lot of us, we will do something like really cool. And our first inclination is to try to save it, right? To preserve it. But it comes from a limiting belief. Like if we're being honest with ourselves. Um, and the limiting belief is that we're not going to be able to do it again. When the reality is, if you've done it once, you could probably do it again, right? So I was thinking the other day, I did a painting. I don't know if you guys saw, I don't know how many of you guys follow my art page, but I'm on like a journey learning classical art and I did a painting. But that painting is on top of a project that I started years ago. but I needed a canvas, and my canvases weren't going to be here in time because I had to have that done by a deadline for something. And so I painted over something that was already pre-existing, and I always have these random thoughts when I'm in my when I'm creating in my spaces. And that day I was thinking about one of the biggest lessons that I'm learning on this journey is the value and um, the value of the courage that you gain from doing it, and just the value of the walk of letting go, right? So the courage that it takes to let go, the lessons that you learn by letting go, because when you let go, you are basically saying to yourself that you trust yourself to be able to do the thing again, right? And so it's crazy that like paint and paper and I'm such a crybaby and glue, things that a lot of people consider to be frivolous can be so incredibly impactful in your own personal growth. And the courage that you gain from creating, it doesn't just stop on your craft table. You will feel it out in the real world and other parts of your life. So make time to create. It really isn't about creating, absolutely, but it's about so much more, so much more. Um, but that's my project for today, you guys. Um, you guys can see that you can see right through that paper and you can see the flower underneath. It's obscured, but you can see it though. It looks like it's behind glass. And so this was a really fun project. This was a project that we made inside of the membership. We spent like weeks playing with paper clay. Um, and this was the end result of one of our nights playing. And I think that it would be the perfect charm for this. So I'm probably, not probably, I'm going to glue a jewelry bell like this one onto the back of here, and then I will hang it from this tag. So that's it. That seems like a little tiny program for us being together for 2 hours today. But I do think that there was value in kind of taking our time to think through the process of what we wanted to do today. Um, and hopefully, you guys discovered something new, or even maybe something that you hadn't thought about that you'll try yourself. But I think that's it for today. The wooden tags, these, as I said at the beginning, I apologize ahead of time. I used to order from a company called Dairies. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I love them so much. Michael's bought them out during COVID, and they're not here anymore. So I don't know where you would find this specific tag, but it's a wood tag, right? You can find some on Amazon. I want to say maybe this is like 6x4. I don't have a thing to measure it, but roughly, if I had to guess, 7x5, 6x4, something like that, is the size of this tag though. But I mean, the idea is here, right? So you can utilize it on any substrate. But the main lesson from today is to please, please, please make time in your creative practice to play, to experiment, and to just do something to see what happens, because experimentation is where we grow creativity. So, where experimentation goes, creativity follows. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. You guys have a blessed week, and I will see you guys on Sunday, Lord willing. Have a blessed day.